I love Alfred Hitchcock movies, and there's so many to choose from. The man made at least 50 films, so there's a deep catalog to browse. But which ones do I like? Well, it's a matter of my personal opinion. There's a difference between what I enjoy and what is objectively good. So let's say these are my favorites. So, I humbly present, in no particular order, here are my 10. Yeah, that's a good round number. Here are my 10 favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies. Number 10, Shadow of a Doubt. Wait, where's my Shadow of a Doubt poster? Ah, there it is. Charlie Newton lives with her parents in Santa Rosa, and then charming and sophisticated Charles, Uncle Charlie, Oakley comes to visit at short notice. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Nice premise. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe. I have my doubts. Or at least a shadow of one. See what I did there? I know it's terrible. Look, this movie's great. I don't want to spoil it for you. Just go watch it. Number 9, The Man Who Knew Too Much. An American family travels abroad. Sounds innocent enough, right? But Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day get more than they bargained for in The Man Who Knew Too Much. I won't bother you too much with the plot, so just trust me and do a bit of traveling with good old Jimmy Stewart and have a humdinger of a time. The original 1934 version is good too, and the plot is different, so it's worth checking out. It's a humdinger. Ugh, it's terrible. Number 8, North by Northwest. A Madison Avenue advertising executive played by Cary Grant is mistaken for a CIA agent. It's mistaken identity at its finest. This might be the funnest Hitchcock movie and has maybe the best drunk driving scene you'll ever see on film. And I love how they set up that Cary Grant's character probably has a pretty high tolerance for alcohol. Co-starring Eva Marie Saint, James Mason, and a young Martin Landau, you just can't go wrong with North by Northwest. Number 7, Strangers on a Train. I first heard about this movie in Throw Mama from the Train, so if you've seen that film, you already know what the plot is to this one, but the tone is completely different, and so is the experience. Farley Granger stars against Robert Walker, who was the perfect choice to play Bruno, one of the most unusual characters in film history. It's like, is he just kind of like simple, or is he just entitled? Is he just pure evil? I mean, what is it with this guy? The tension between these characters and the deep contrast in their personalities combines with Hitchcock's filmmaking to deliver what is easily one of my favorite psychological thriller film noirs. Say that 3 times fast. Psychological thriller film noir. Psychological thriller film noir. Psychological thriller film noir. Ugh, it's terrible. Number 6, Rope. Starring Farley Granger, James Stewart, and John Dahl. Yep, more Farley Granger. Rope is told more like a play than a movie. Hitchcock and his team worked really hard to disguise the cuts in an effort to make the movie seem almost like it plays out in one shot. The thing about Rope is it doesn't have any secrets. You know what's going on the whole time. This movie's about suspense, and boy does it deliver. Number 5, Rear Window. Some more Jimmy Stewart for you. And just because we're extraordinarily lucky, we get Grace Kelly too. Like Rope, Rear Window is very static in its location as we're either in Jimmy Stewart's apartment or we're looking out the titular window with him. I know that might sound boring, but you're just going to have to trust me on this. Rear Window also yielded one of my favorite Simpson parodies, Bart of Darkness. Check out that episode after you watch this flick. By the way, there are a million Simpsons Hitchcock parodies, but you know. Number 4, Dial M for Murder. Ever hear that saying, God laughs when you make plans? There's about 10,000 memes. This is the movie version of that saying. Now, this has got to be the weirdest piece of physical media that I own because there's a 3D option. Why in the ever-loving butthole of unfathomable existence would I want to watch Dial M for Murder in 3D? That's just bizarre. Whose idea was this? Anyway, Grace Kelly is back and she's lighting up the screen like always. This is a good one, don't miss it. And if you're a completist, maybe check out 1998's A Perfect Murder, which is one of the best remakes ever and maybe is one of the best scene ending jokes in film history. So should I keep your wife? Number 3, Psycho. I'm sure you know all about this movie, but it's worth mentioning. Is there another movie where the main character is just gone halfway through the movie and we get new ones? It's such an unusual movie in that regard. The situation between our two lovers is kind of similar to Strangers on a Train, but it's a coincidence. It's just a compelling situation that creates conflict between the characters. But there's so much to love about this movie. It's one of those rare perfect films where all aspects of filmmaking and performance and music, everything came together at the right time and the right way. The black and white film enhances the atmosphere, but it was only shot that way to save money. Sometimes you just get lucky. Just to quickly touch on the 1998 remake, well, here's an excerpt from Wikipedia. After the release of Gus Van Sant's financially successful Good Will Hunting in 1997, Universal Pictures agreed to option his proposed remake of the film. Get that? He proposed it. Van Sant's pitch was to remake the film shot for shot, which Casey Silver, then head of production at Universal Pictures, felt was a very strange idea. The idea of remaking a classic like Psycho just seemed like a dangerous business to get into. When asked why he wanted to remake the film in this manner, Van Sant responded, "Why not? It's a marketing scheme. Why does a studio ever remake a film? Because they have this little thing they've forgotten about that they could put in the marketplace and make money from." Okay, so why do it then? It's as strange a situation as it sounds, and there's something about the movie being in color, I don't know, maybe it's coupled with the performances. It just doesn't quite work, and I can't exactly put my finger on why. I usually say check out both versions for fun, but the remake here is, this is for people who study film only recommendation. Number 2, Vertigo. This one has a special place in my heart, probably because the conflict is so internal within Jimmy Stewart's character. Yeah, I love Jimmy Stewart, and Kim Novak is in it too, who's also a favorite of mine. By the time we get to the scene where Stewart says, "Oh, what does it matter to you?" he's just so messed up. I'm just fascinated by this character, the story. There's so much here to enjoy, but I have to admit, the chandelier still bothers me. Hey, if you know what the chandelier means, please tell me. Drop a comment. Anyway, great movie. Check it out. Number 1, The Birds. This is a super famous movie, so I won't drone on and on about it, but let me say this. I'm a big fan of subtext, and I love the subtext in The Birds. Definitely the Hitchcock movie that benefits the most from rewatching in terms of getting the most out of the non-literal aspects of the film. So it seems my internet-friendly list has run out of space, so I'll just quickly drop a few more titles here that I recommend. The 39 Steps is one of Hitchcock's older movies from the 30s that he made in England, and it's so good that I'm kind of shocked he didn't remake it, which he did with some of his older movies from the 30s, like The Man Who Knew Too Much. Even Orson Welles called the 39 Steps a masterpiece, and screenwriter Robert Towne said all contemporary escapist entertainment begins with the 39 Steps. But maybe Hitchcock knew he couldn't do it any better than that, and he decided to quit while he was ahead. But then 2 other filmmakers remade it anyway. Okay, I'll stop. It's a good movie, check it out. Marnie is an unusual one, and it's probably not for everybody. There's some visual metaphor here that I think is interesting, and there's other stuff that's probably doesn't stand the test of time, let's put it that way. But I still think it's worth a look. The Lady Vanishes and Rebecca should really be on the main list, but again, I couldn't fit everything in my internet-friendly top 10 list, but I definitely recommend them both, and the Netflix remake of Rebecca is also an interesting companion piece. I would also recommend checking out Foreign Correspondent, which gives you a completely different look at Edmund Gwenn if you're only used to seeing him as Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street. It's gonna blow your mind. Saboteur has one of the most memorable ending sequences in early film history, and Lifeboat is just awesome. It's kind of the spiritual predecessor to Rope in that it's very static in location. Well, we're closer to 20 movies now than we are to 10, so I think I'll stop there. If I haven't convinced you yet, let me leave you with this. If you're interested in auteur filmmakers, you simply gotta check out Hitchcock. What's your favorite Hitchcock movie? Did I leave it out? Drop a comment and let me know.